Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Crypto News Podcast. Your host here, Matt Seha. We are buzzing as always. Super pumped for today's episode. We haven't done anything Solana related in a while. I still love Sol, and it's time. Here we go. Today we have Xenia Soborova, I hope I pronounced your last name right, on the show today. Web3 biz dev leader and currently head of BD at Tramplin, a Solana native premium staking app that redistributes networks inflationary rewards among users to make staking profitable even with a small amount of Sol. Before this, she worked at the Avalanche Foundation on ecosystem growth and founder success, and has also worked for teams including Binance, Rari Foundation, and SQD.ai. She also co-founded BD and Web3, the largest Telegram community for Web3 founders, BD, and growth hackers. Xenia, welcome to the show. Pumped to have you on. How you doing this lovely afternoon for you and morning for me? How are you?
Hi, Matt. I'm doing great. It's a pleasure to be here. I've been observing what you guys been building in the space and so honored to be here among some of the best founders in this space.
Thank you. Much appreciated. This was a great opportunity and we are pumped to have you on. Let's jump right into it. I get asked this all the time, and I've never worked for any. I've only done consulting, but never worked for any of the large ecosystems. You have a couple of really impressive ones on your resume. And I'm going to throw the question that I get asked right over to you, Xenia. You work for Avalanche, you work for other ecosystems like Binance, like Rari. Now you're working in Solana. Any front of mind, easy, low-hanging fruit differences, maybe some cheesy stuff like vibes, pay, you name it, anything, but give us the tea. What do you got for us on working for different crypto ecosystems?
Yeah, that's a great question to start. I really had a privilege to work with some of the best teams in the space. And you said like Avalanche was until autumn last year, and it's been a great experience. I've been working a lot with founders in that ecosystem. And then after I left, I was just looking around, checking the vibes, and was obviously very interested and very inspired to learn more about the success behind Solana. And that was also simultaneously when the founders of Tramplin got in touch, and they've explained me the concept of Tramplin, which sounded like they were really flipping the idea of how the users can participate in the economy without losing their capital. So it sounded super exciting. And coming back to your question, it was the first time for me that I've visited Breakpoint last year in Abu Dhabi. And it was like a true deep dive into what is happening in the ecosystem, what is the vibe there, the community. And in fact, I think I kind of like cracked the code in a sense that what truly resonated with me at that time, being around Solana folks, was that it seems like they really have a very clear value proposition as an ecosystem that they truly strive for. Solana is, to me, about building on-chain businesses that are able to scale and finding new opportunities, new business models, ways to operate in the on-chain economy, which really kind of feels very different and very fresh than what I've seen in many other ecosystems. I think also a great part of that work is thanks to labs teams and the foundation teams. They really seem to be supportive of founders that share same values, and they have a lot of opportunities, a lot of capital out there that they are willing to share with the most successful teams. And also, I spent some time at Breakpoint with Colosseum teams that were funded or are about to get funding from their accelerator. And honestly, their energy was so inspirational to me as someone who's been in the space for such a long time, because those teams seem to really tackle real-life problems rather than aspiring to build on abstract ideas. So clear value proposition was also one of the main reasons why we stick to Solana.
I like it. I still think, Xenia, that Solana is the people's chain. It's definitely still retail's chain. All the fun shit happens on Solana. I know I definitely didn't explain that as well as I should have, but you guys who have been listening to the pod know what I mean about that. it's just where all the good stuff happens. You have teams that are providing immense amount of value and revenue, like the Hyperliquids. You still have the TVL leaders and sort of the true DeFi leaders like the Ethereums. You have the Binances and many others that sort of have their own jobs. 99.9% don't do a single thing, but Solana definitely has its place, and I'd love to see Solana go on a rip again as well. Moving over to what you guys do, and I want to ask about the name as well. Tramplin, I hear that, I'm like, trampoline, maybe not, but also, again, and I'll tie this into the elevator pitch. So two-part question. Number one, why the name? If you know, I know it's a bit of a weird question. And number two, explain what you guys do, because it's really, really interesting, sort of creating like, half staking, half lottery kind of thing. So numero uno, why the name? And numero dos, give us the elevator pitch on Tramplin.
Elevator pitch is my favorite of all times. So thing with name, I think it definitely resembles trampoline. We also got inspired by the winter sports. We all know ski jumping. And so I think it kind of reflects the brand, because we give a safe way for anyone to participate in the economy and kind of have an outsized return, which is kind of like jumping in there like a ski jumper.
I like it.
And we kind of played around with that in our branding, because we call the winners of our pools as jumpers, like successful jumpers. And we really kind of play a lot with that in the branding, which I think is also very innate to Solana ecosystem. Be playful with your brand, not too serious, not too businessy, but at the same time have some style around it. So I think we blended well.
I like it.
And then, yeah, thank you. And then coming to like an elevator pitch, I think the whole idea of Tramplin appeared because we could see the market trends and the conditions that, especially in the retail, we see a lot of users who are suffering and losing a lot of funds. And that was kind of the first problem that we want to tackle. How do we kind of shift from high risk, high return narrative, and what is the way that users can still participate in an on-chain economy in a meaningful way? By that, I suppose, get outsized returns without actually staking all their capital and losing their capital for like no upside. And so it's actually a very challenging task, and the founders accidentally came up with this idea that actually it's extremely safe to stake SOL in a native way, because Solana itself offers 6.5 APY on top of the amount of stake. And it's like a requirement. It assures that anyone who stakes will get it. So it's super safe on that front. And then they were thinking of ways how to still make it fun and game and interesting to participate. And that's how the idea of reward redistribution appeared. Basically, unlike in the native Solana staking, where everyone who participates in the stake will get a really small APY on top of a stake, what we do is that we first pull their rewards and then we redistribute them in a random way through a mathematical algorithm that operates on the back end of Tramplin. And we redistribute these rewards to random participants in the pool every 10 minutes, but also once a month, a bigger allocation is about to be redistributed. So this way, we believe that Tramplin allows to effectively participate in the on-chain economy, do something with the stake, with the amount of SOL that you have, without any possibility to or any added risk of losing your capital forever.
I like it. Okay. So just as, again, sort of bite-sized elevator pitch, you guys have the bringing magic back to staking, let your SOL generated whale-sized yield without leaving your wallet. So you guys, again, the whole sort of bread and butter of Tramplin is you stake your SOL, and instead of staking a bunch of SOL where you have that potential and permanent loss where you don't get the upside of investments or so on and so forth, you get, you're still pretty much getting almost guaranteed returns, and you have that moonshot, like you said, that big old ski jump of getting larger sort of lottery style returns. Did I get that right?
You got it perfectly right. And what I can assure you is that whenever anyone that we talk about Tramplin to understands the concept, they immediately want to stake because they see huge potential for some SOL that just sits on the wallet untouched and idle to like immediately participate in the economy without any additional risk.
Gotcha. And it's just one soul to participate, yeah?
Exactly. With Tramplin, we specifically target users who just have a small amount of SOL. I think one of the problems that I have not talked about in native staking is that it's mostly interesting for the whales. Like 6.5
Yeah.
APY is not entirely enticing and interesting, and it's boring a bit. So here, if you have a small amount of SOL, you probably won't go to stake it in a common way. You'd probably go to perps, taxes, or maybe trade
Yeah.
meme coins if you know how to do that. But here you
Yeah.
basically can participate without any additional activity or checks required from your sign.
I like it. Keeping SOL secure. This is something that's when I put this to the team, my team, shout out Crypto News team, love you guys, always ask some incredible questions. This was one that they asked, how does the SOL stay secure? We've seen so many, I mean, not really many hacks on sort of the main nets of L1s being hacked, but it mostly happens on bridges and similar avenues like that. But just so it's out there so everyone knows, how does the Tramplin team keep their users' stake SOL secure?
Mm-hmm. First of all, I want to like flip the question a bit. Truth is, Tramplin has no access to the funds. So the users would actually stake in a native way to
Yep.
Solana staking protocol, and we don't have any access to that. We just run a validator ourselves. So that is already a huge security point. Plus, for the users, they know for sure where the rewards are coming from. They just come from this APY that is offered by Solana for staking SOL. And then additional things that we thought of is that like one of the questions, how do you make sure reward redistribution is fair? How do you not like potentially manipulate the results of those redistributions? Truth is, we actually use Orao, which is also a product on Solana. We use their verified random function, which is a mathematical algorithm that just picks the winners by itself. And we also implemented a structure in which it's technically impossible for us to get into the code and somehow fix it. The code will just not work otherwise. And we publish all the results of redistributions on chain in the app, so you can always check, verify for yourself on any explorer. So yeah, that's basically how we assure the safety. And last but not least, because you stake Solana in a native way, you stake it on the node, and you can always unstake SOL. Even if Tramplin goes down, shuts down completely, you can always access your funds from any wallet that operates in Solana. Like I can see my stake on Phantom, and if I want, I can unstake it through Phantom or through Solflare without even coming into Tramplin app, which I think is also a great safety feature for anyone who participates in our pool.
Yeah, well said. I'll just give a quick example to the listeners at home. Let's say Xenia and Matt are financial advisors who are for, I don't know, Bank of America, whoever. And we take your money and we manage it, we invest it, we take our 2 and 20 or whatever the fees may be, blah, blah, blah. If Xenia and I leave and we shut down, the bank has your money. We don't ever touch your money. We just sort of manage it and choose where to put it on behalf of the bank. It's sort of the same thing, not perhaps the best analogy, but when you guys stake the SOL, it literally goes natively on, Solana's L1, on the network itself, to the nodes, to the validators. So again, they never have custody of your salami. Okay, quick ad read, and we're going to jump right back into it. Huge shout out to PrimeXBT, longtime friends and longtime sponsors of the Crypto News podcast. We love the team at PrimeXBT as they offer a robust trading system for both beginners and professional traders. Doesn't matter if you're a rookie or a vet, you can easily design and customize your layouts and widgets to best fit your trading style. PrimeXBT is also running an exclusive promo for listeners of the Crypto News podcast. Use the promo code CryptoNews50. That's CryptoNews50, all one word, to receive 50% of your deposit credited to your trading account. Again, CryptoNews50 for 50% of your deposit credited to your trading account. Okay, back to the show with Xenia. We'll take a little break from, I guess we could tie them both together, but I want to go into the BD side of crypto. We've seen many Twitter threads, X threads, I still call it Twitter. We've seen many X threads about this. There's tons of BD job postings all over the place. Seems like there's only a handful of really good BD folks in the crypto sphere. For the folks at home, BD, business development, sales 101, you're not only sort of, trying to increase revenue, you're increasing TVL, you are increasing ecosystem partners. You're really just developing the business, as cliche as it is. With that being said, any stories, learnings, pieces of advice, weird shit, whatever it may be in regards to BD and crypto, what do you have for us, Xenia?
Yeah, thanks for the question. So actually, I'm operating a community called BD in Web3, which is, I think, one of the, well, if not one of the biggest, but probably the best for connecting in the crypto space right now. And we've been operating it for 2 years. And obviously, to me, the immediate advice, if you are looking for a role in business development, start connecting through those types of communities. If you can find access to them, it's pretty easy, actually. Just reach out to me. So for sure that, I think for me, what worked the best is to always know a lot about ecosystems I'm applying into, just to kind of know the relationships there, how the projects are supported. It's usually very, very helpful just for yourself to understand what you are stepping into. And then to me, not everything actually is a network. I think a lot of things outside of that comes with experience, like how to build a successful strategy, how to connect with the right people at the right time, what to propose, how to propose. And also one thing is to reach out to your network. Another thing is to retain these connections long term. That's probably the hardest part at times of business development, because folks are changing all the time. And yeah, there's a lot of learnings on the way, but always stay open, always staying kind to people that you work with is probably the recipe of success on being a business developer in Web3 space.
I like it. Any differences top of mind from traditional biz dev to Web3 biz dev?
Luckily, I haven't worked much in Web2 space, but from the time that I had in my career, I think for sure the speed is much faster in Web3 space. It's not for everybody. It's very addictive. It's high on dopamine. You always need to stay in touch with reality in a way. And in that front, it's very exhausting. It's also very kind of unstable. So I think it's meant for people who manage to work with uncertainty a lot. But it also gives a lot of opportunities to learn fast, to be the best you can. I think the best expert that you can in a very short amount of time. There is a lot of exposure to different cultures. You travel a lot, which can be also fun and can be not so fun when you travel too much. But it gives a lot of opportunities, especially to young people. And I think for me, from my experience, it was probably the best career start to pivot to crypto in 2017.
That's awesome. Very well said there. Going back to Tramplin for a quick second, I'm just looking at the show notes, questions I wanted to ask. One point that I saw you and the team talk about that I've really never even thought of is sleeping wallets, which just refers to the wallets that, have any type of crypto in them and they don't do anything. It's a strict just buy and hodl being holding, and it's literally just hope price goes up, nothing changes. What you guys do, what's the plan to get the sleeping wallets to participate? If my show notes are correct, this is something that you and the team are working on right now. I think this is great. I think a lot of value can be added to all networks and chains if sleeping wallets do participate. It's just more active participants. Why wouldn't you want that? What's the GP? What's the game plan there?
Yeah, so basically when we started to build Tramplin, one of the reasons why we chose Solana ecosystem was that we've identified through a research that there's about 2.5 million wallets sleeping out there. They have some amount of soul, but it's not active in the economy. So we've also learned from talking with our customers, especially our first users in the app, is that the moment they understood the value prop of Tramplin, they immediately wanted to participate and stake, because for them it's a no-brainer. They just put the money in and they get potentially a huge upside from their stake. So our best strategy right now to be able to activate the sleeping accounts is to really make sure we raise awareness about our product as much as possible. We put a lot of work into building strategic relationships in the ecosystem so that the product is available through different applications and wallets in Solana. We work a lot on the user education about staking in general, and particularly about Tramplin as part of staking culture. And another element is like simplifying access to our app and making the user experience as neat as possible so that people who came in understand what's happening in there, and that it's built not just for Web3 people, but also for that Web2 crowd we all are looking forward to welcome in the Web3 space.
Yeah. On that note, this is something that we've been discussing for 5 years. What the heck can we do to actually onboard the masses? I'll start with my sort of thesis. Mind you, it's not much of a thesis. It's more of just a pretty lukewarm take. But I think we need a killer app, right? We need I don't know how old you are. I'm a 95. I just turned 31. I remember when I was in grade 7 and 8, like the Facebook days, where it was like you had to get on Facebook, and then the Instagram days, and then the Snapchat days, and then the ChatGPT days, right? Where it's like you have to get on this app or you are genuinely left behind. We've still never had that. We've had times, right? We've had 3-month stretches of meme coins. We've had parabolic Bitcoin run-ups, but for us, it's strictly price driven. It's only you need to get on because you're tired of seeing your crypto friends print money for 3 months, and then you finally get on, and then someone pulls the rug, and then they're like, F this, I'm never jumping back in. That's my whole thing. We need a killer app to make it happen. We haven't had that yet. We have stable coins and we have centralized exchanges, which are the two sort of killers. But again, it's really just price. My rant aside, what do you think we got to do to get the Web2 folks in the Web3 family?
Yeah, I think you touched it right about a killer app. And although we've seen, I think it's pretty tremendous, the success of some of the applications that got millions of users through meme coin cycle. I think still it was a pretty impressive growth, just probably not that explosive. And why it was not explosive is probably not because the onboarding was tough or anything like that. I think we finally achieved user onboarding kind of compatible to Web2 experience. I think the problem why most new customers in those apps wouldn't stay is not because of onboarding at all or the user experience as such. It was because they were continuously losing money. So we are trying to focus around that issue and build an application where the users will have a positive experience interacting with an on-chain app without a possibility to lose funds at all. So we are just trying to kind of flip that scenario for anyone who comes into the app, especially for someone from Web2 who is not probably expecting that. So I do agree it's about killer app, but it's also about mechanics. I think mechanics of meme cycles, unfortunately, impacted. Yeah, they were too vicious, especially for people in Web2 that are just not familiar with such dramatic possibilities to lose funds at once, and the speed of trading that we've all had. So it's a killer app, but also a killer app with positive experience and hopefully getting more money on top of your capital rather than losing capital.
Well said. I like it. Xenia, a couple more questions and we'll wrap up here. Back to Tramplin. Any news coming out? Again, your episode is going to air early next week on February 9th. Any news to look forward to? I believe you guys have something pretty cool popping off soon. Please do tell us.
Mm-hmm. So on to news. Spoiler alert, we are about to launch on Seeker, the mobile that is building in Solana ecosystem. We are very excited about it, and I've heard from the technical team that the integration itself is going very smooth. Kudos to Seeker team. We obviously, the main priority for us right now is to onboard tens of thousands of customers into our app and give them the possibility for upsides without any capital losses. I work a lot on building strategic partnerships in Solana ecosystem and even beyond that. So some updates are coming on that front as well this next week. So keep in touch with us.
I love it. And before we let you go today, can you please let our listeners know where they can find you personally and, of course, Tramplin online and on socials? You can also plug BD and Web3. Anything you want to plug, please do plug before we let you go today.
Yeah, so as for Tramplin, stay in touch. I think the best way to get connected is on Twitter. Our Twitter account, x.com/tramplin.io. Me personally, my Twitter is Cryptophilian, French touch to that nickname. And as for BD in Web3, so it's available on Telegram and also on Twitter. I think it's pretty easy to find us. Just put in BD in Web3 or ask a friendly BD. They probably know where to find us.
I love it. Folks, what an episode with Xenia Soborova, Web3 biz dev leader, and of course, head of BD at Tramplin.io. Huge shout out to Xenia and the team for making this happen. If you guys enjoyed this one, and I hope you did, please do subscribe. It would mean the world to my team and I. Speaking to the team, love you guys. Thank you so much for everything. Really appreciate all the hard work. Jaggy, keep on crushing it. And back to our listeners, keep on growing those bags and keep on staying healthy, wealthy, and happy. Love you guys, and we will see you on the next one. Ciao.